At Vibra Finance, we seek out the hidden gems in cryptocurrency. We will tailor your portfolio to work for you. Are you ready to transition your investments from traditional markets to cryptocurrency? Are your coins staked and earning interest? Are you overwhelmed with all the jargon in crypto? Is your portfolio underperforming and you want to reposition into consistent winning blue chip coins and viable projects? Do you feel like you missed out on DeFi, Metaverse, and NFTs? Here at Vibra Finance, we provide you with the data, skills, and tools you need to stay on top of the digital asset market. Vibra Finance. We are the future of crypto.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Vibreville. I don't know what's going on with my camera jack. Like, I swear every other day the other jack will work, then it won't work. So only the built-in camera tonight. So I'm not gonna be looking fresh to death, but that shit don't matter. We are, I think, about to see an explosion across the board in all of the coins that we've been talking about for like almost 3.5 good years. The time is now. All of the institutions are about to be able to use DeFi that we use. The floodgates are about to open up. All right. All we need is a little bit of legislation. Trump's already getting rid of that SOB 21 or whatever. So the new legislation, I think it's the FIT 21. It lays out all the frameworks for projects to become decentralized cryptos. It lays out everything. It's all said and done. So that just needs to come into effect. We need stablecoin legislation to come into effect, and the money's going to pour in. And that's awesome because it's going to pump our bags. That's it. Because it's a catch-22 to this stuff. You know, it's not all roses here. Like, cryptocurrency was made so we could transact without a financial intermediary. That's the whole point of crypto. So like what XRP and these guys are, some of these, not XRP, but what Ripple's doing, you know, what BlackRock, JP Morgan building their own blockchains to then settle on public networks. Like that's not what crypto was for. But we need legislation to come so banks can custody crypto. When the banks can hold it, that means they can legally start splashing around. And we are so close to that. And I think that's why ETH has been suppressed, right? That's like the institutional coin. It's their go-to. All the smart contracts are on there. And I think it's been purposely held back. Same thing with XRP for years. Now it's starting to run. So the dinosaur coins that have been in the background building for years, you know, Hedera, I've been talking about it since 2022. All the relationships, all the stuff they were building around the world, working with banks, with countries in different markets. It takes a lot of time to get, to become legal there, to get all of the licenses and getting through all the regulatory hurdles in all these different countries and jurisdictions. And it's just now where Ripple and Twitter and these companies are getting their money, like money transmitter licenses in the United States. So like the US, it's tough to get. So these things take time. So it just blows my mind where these influencers out here talk about, oh, I don't know why Hedera and Stell, they're never going to pump again. It's like, bro, clearly you did not see what's been going on in the background, how much they've been building. They've been setting up like all these people from around the government. Rosie Rios, that is on the $100 bill. She now works at Ripple. You know, the head of BlackRock's digital assets, Robbie Mitchnick, worked at Ripple and went to BlackRock. He's the one that came up with the calculator showing how XRP can get to thousands of dollars a coin. And he removed his ties on LinkedIn, showing that he came from Ripple. Why would he hide that? So these people, why would they leave government jobs or, you know, put someone over there at BlackRock if there wasn't something going on? You know, with Stronghold, it's one of our favorite cryptos. Who are the founders? Tammy Camp and I forget the Sean, I think's the guy's name. But regardless, both of them were early employees at Ripple. Tammy was the first woman ever hired at Ripple, and now she gets to be in charge of Stronghold. Like I've pretty much come to the conclusion from doing research. I could show from patents and from different funding rounds into these companies early. Peter Thiel's behind Ripple early. Like it's all the same people controlling this stuff. And you have the mainstream being sold this bullshit over here while a handful of us are doing research and saying, oh my God, all this stuff is being built. This is enormous. Like, oh, the framework for a new financial system is being built right in front of our faces and nobody knows. And it blows my mind when I see this FUD online and these idiots that have no idea what they're talking about. Like if you have done hundreds and thousands of hours of research, you would be more bullish now on Ripple, on Hedera, on Stellar, on Flare, on Clearpool, on Jasmy, on Ondo, all the stuff, AI, on Cubic. We don't know what the winners are going to be yet, but I have a really good feeling now. AI is a crapshoot, but I just have a feeling with Cubic, it's the one because it's all who you know in this world. And looking at the track record of the founder, his first two projects were top 3 most profitable ICOs in the history. And he's been working on Cubic the whole time in the background. So guys, when you're here every day, all right, and I get to talk with so many different people, I do research, I ask myself these questions. You don't think I thought people were out of their minds when they said XRP was going to $100 and it was 18 cents when I first started looking at it, or 12 cents or something back in 2019, 2020. But that's how long these things take. Look how long it took Amazon to build and become the behemoth. You know how many people laughed at it for years when it was going nowhere? But people that were looking at saying, yeah, he keeps building, he's acquiring stuff, he's not making money, but his empire is growing. And you could see the writing on the wall. And it's the same thing with crypto, with all the gems we've been talking about. And we have very little time to get into these. If you don't have your bags packed, you're not ready to go, and you're now just looking at some of these things, don't wait around any longer. Like this, the floodgates are about to open up. I really think so. I really, really do. Look at Jasmy popping 30% today. Let me get over here. Sorry about that. I mean, what do you know? 30% pump on Jasmy. Say what up to you guys? Crypto Chavez, Old Drippy. Let's go. Clintrons. Pulsate Trader Q. Take a look at PTGC RSI. Love your thoughts. Yeah, bro, for sure. I mean, I'm definitely not a TA guy, but we'll give it a go. Good morning, bro. It's 10 o'clock at night. Goo God, come on, bro. Have a cup of coffee. You set your watch to PM, not AM. Papa Panda, Gunner Boat, Camo Joe. We've never seen a utility run. We have not. With the institutions coming in, bro. Yeah, dude, this is going to be special. This is going to be a special cycle. Mobius, let's go. Wait till the mat. Yeah, bro. That's another bullish catalyst. Richard Hart, all the SEC cases. We get Kraken and Coinbase and all these frivolous lawsuits all go away. And then we get the banks being able to custody crypto. And then we get hedge funds and all these institutions pouring money into DeFi because there's companies like Hex Trust, that no relation to Richard, but we've been talking about this company for years, and MetaMask Institutional. All these guys that are little pussies that say, oh no, we cannot touch Bitcoin. We can't, that stuff's way too volatile and risky, and it's for scammers. And it's a gray area. There's no laws, but we don't want to dare do anything. You know what? The Hex Trust built a solution. So the second this stuff's all legal and these guys have no clue what they're doing, they just give a call to Hex Trust. Hey, how you doing? Good. I got like $10 million. Okay, well, we have all kinds of staking protocols. We could start setting you up with liquidity pools, earning ROI. Are you trying to make money? You just want you trying to get 6-8% a year on your money? What are you trying to do? These guys have it all set up. All of the framework in the background is ready to go. These guys work with protocols, foundations, financial institutions, Web3, and metaverse. So, guys, it's so obvious. They'll custody all the assets for you. They do everything. It's all there. It's a full suite service. So that's being built in the background while we're being, just lied to, and it's crazy. And then, yeah, bro, this too, like Richard Hart, he gets off the SEC case, and then he pumps a PRC20 if it's Aave or if it's Chainlink or something with the big community. And then they realize, oh, damn, I got like 25% of my bag on ETH over there on Pulse Chain. All right, I'll go look at it now. But when it's worth pennies, people don't care. So he can do that with so many coins. The people's Bitcoin. What up, Luke? Freddie, what's up, my brand? How's it going, brother? Oh, that's right, bro. You do have rabies. Yeah, bro. Rabies is everywhere now. Luke's got it. I had a case of it the other day. To me, seems like the judge doesn't want to make a decision if the SEC is going to be forced to drop charges. She's just waiting to see what happens. Yeah, bro. I think the SEC is going to, they had that 3-hour meeting today from like a closed door meeting. I wouldn't be surprised if they drop a lot of these charges. I mean, because they were taking losses in court, bro. That's embarrassing. So let's check out the favorites real quick. Damn. Venice. Peter Voorhees. Woo. I bought 10 of them. I bought 5 of them at $9.16. I bought 5 more today at like $6. I'm done catching a falling knife with this shit. I got a little too excited from Bill the Bull stream with Chris. But that's why when you mess around with small, tiny bags. You don't do it with your bag of Clearpool. You don't sell your bag of Corium that's delegated, earning 28% right now. Lindsay just looked. We have a bag of like almost $400 of Axelar from the last 3 months of staking rewards. And Corium was a free airdrop for holding Sologenics, which was a free airdrop for holding XRP. Like there's so many ways to make passive income in crypto. And now is the time to set yourself up for that for the next 5+ years, guys. Like this cycle at the end of this bear market, it's going to be different in a sense that some of these cryptos that are being used at scale, like one that I was watching BitBoy's thing today, Goldfinch, GFI. So like what they do is they, I don't know what the website is. It's lending. It's peer-to-peer. So we can let each other borrow money. And let me get the website here. And it's just cool. So we're going to become our own banks. That's going to, stable coins are going to be huge this year. It's going to be the year of institutions and stable coins and real world assets. So earning yield on chain, that's going to be, the enticement. So in the bear market, when you can take your stable coins and instead of having to cash them out to go find something in the real world, or, if you don't want to keep it in stable pools or whatever you're doing, they're going to have so many different options for you where you can put it in, if you want to invest in Southeast Asia or a senior pool or a carbon, whatever it is, like they have so many different ways. You're going to have mutual funds, like every financial product that we cash out to go, to move money into our bank to then put into your brokerage account or whatever you have it. We're going to cut all that out. That's the beautiful thing. That's what tokenization is going to bring. And definitely like where we'll be able to buy fractions of stuff where if you can't afford a whole thing, you can buy a little bit of it. Advanced Hood Cleaning. So what's up, bro? It's funny. I was watching some of what's his name? That guy Kenny that goes around spraying people clean with the shoe cleaner. Kenny, what's his name? Kenny Woods, maybe? Or that dude's hilarious. But people don't understand why banks will be buying XRP at $110,000 because they will have to. Yeah, bro. But the thing the only thing I would push back on that is Ripple has already signed up all the banks, bro. They have like 1,700 banks and institutions and enterprises that they're already working with. All of the JP Morgans and Citibank and Goldman, they all use R3 Corda right now. And some JP Morgan's got Onyx, but they use Corda. And Corda has said once there's enough volume and liquidity on the XRP ledger, we will be using them to settle. So everything is going to end up settling on the super DEX, which is going to be the XRP ledger, because they have everything built into the protocol. The DEX is built into the protocol. Everything is at the protocol level. So I think everyone that's going to be using it, all these banks and institutions, I think they already have it. That's what I think. It's more of like the hedge funds and investment banks and those type that once they're allowed to go buy it on the open market, they're going to be flooded. And that's when I think you'll see a supply shock on exchanges with XRP, probably with Bitcoin. Who knows, bro? It's going to get wild. Like, I really think this is the cycle that blows everybody's minds. So I don't know. We'll see. I think it's going to be a little different in a sense. Certain coins aren't going to have these huge 80% corrections across the board. The coins that are being used at scale, they're going to maybe drop 20% or whatever, I think. Because there's going to be so many assets tokenized on chain. What happens if the XRP ledger has, $4 trillion of assets tokenized this year? It's something absurd. What if they go nuts and that happens and there's 4 trillion on chain? What's the value of XRP? If there's hundreds of billions of dollars of volume now running through the network because everyone's settling on it. Like, I don't think market cap is the right way to value coins anymore and cryptos. And I think that's going to start to change this cycle. Let's go. PZen. This is what I want to see, man. For all of us that in the cruel bear market of 2023, when we were finding PDI, Atropa, all the good stuff, we made ZenFTs on Pulse Chain, on Polygon, and Optimism. And I only have 6 more left on Optimism, but they're worth like almost $5 a piece now. And I wish I had more, but I was able to build a bag of almost 3,000 Velodrome, which is the DEX over there, and 200 of these perp is the name of the coin, Perpetual Protocol. It's basically like a leverage platform on Optimism. And I think Optimism is going to be one of the L2s that wins. So being able to take I put $50 on there and I made 140 Optimism's NFTs. On Pulse Chain, I think I used 1 million Pulse, and now one NFT, I believe, was worth like almost 85,000 Pulse, and it costs about 7,000 to claim it, and we were minting them for anywhere from like 12 to 15,000. So all in for say 25,000, you're making at least 50,000 Pulse, and we have hundreds of them that we made. So all we'll need is 20 of them to get your million back, and I have like 150. So those are all going to be profitable, and the Polygon ones too. I built up a bag of Block V, and I was looking at that earlier today. It just keeps pumping. Like when I first started with Block V, each Polygon ZenFT would get me like 120 tokens. So I just kept doing it every day, and I got up to like 4,000-ish, and then I bought some more, and now it's been one of the best performing coins. There it is, Block V keeps pumping up to 2.3 cents now. Like literally one of the best performing coins in my portfolio right now. I mean, it's pumping and no one really knows what it is, but it's another project where these guys have been building out the infrastructure for NFT usage for businesses and stuff. It really is cool. So this is how you use $50 in the bear market. You use time to your advantage. So I made these all the way out from 2023 to the middle of 2025. The max ones, I think, were 500 days or 400 days or something like that. And that's delaying gratification. That's how you win in crypto. If you just buy right now and you shut everything down, the amount of people that I got into PTGC early, UFO early, PDI, Atropa, and a lot of people sold their bags on the first 10x, 20x, 30x. And now it's up thousands of X's. I did the same thing. I earned more in interest the first like 6 months I held the coin. I have 3 times less. So I took a lot of profits. I gave a lot away, and that was a great learning experience. So if everyone that bought PTGC just shut their computer down and forgot about it, you'd be a millionaire right now. And I think it's going to be the same thing for a majority of these projects that I've been telling you guys to stack for 3 years now. Clear pool. So I got to We'll check out. Yeah, so PZen, beautiful. Let's see if anything else is pumping here. OPZen up and nuts. See that it's up. That's like keeps pumping now while I'm running out. Oh well. 808 up there 15%. I saw Burn and Liquid were doing good too, I think. Yeah, Liquid, Burn's crushing it. So look at that. Burn, Liquid, and 808. The 3 reflection coins you hold from or you get from holding Alien. Let's see how Burn's done in its lifetime. So if you got into Alien a year ago and you just been holding your rewards, I think you can go to the website actually and go put your wallet in. But man, I mean, it's up. It's from 7 zeros to 5 zeros. So yeah, it's up, man. But is that right? 28,000%? That might be a little off. But 15,000%. So it did 150x. It looks like from the bottom to the top. So imagine if you just held your bag the whole time. I guarantee you, between Burn, Liquid, and 808, it's worth more than your initial investment. Alien and Anki too. It's the same thing. It's just now starting to make some headlines around Pulse Chain. And this is the time you get in before everyone's talking about it. You want to be in early. That's the whole key to crypto. Get in early and hold. Anki's got so much upside. Volume's picking up. And you know what? He's got a ton of liquidity with a bunch of different pairs. And the beautiful thing is you can earn PDI and wrap Bitcoin, Pulse wrap Bitcoin for as long as you hold it. Teddy Bear and PTGC. No, sorry. Wrap Bitcoin, PDI, Teddy, and Atropa. Sorry, it burns PTGC. So 4 coins you get for holding this. And as the volume goes up, your rewards get better. And if wrap Bitcoin, imagine if it goes to parity, if it goes to $100,000, if Richard does that, and you're getting drops of this every day, even though like my drops now are worth like, I don't know, 40 cents. Imagine if that 100x'd. And now that's $40 every drip. Guys, that's what's coming. So that's how you think ahead. You plan now. Don't listen to these idiots out here that are so short-term minded. Alien and Anki and PTGC and UFO are all set up with all the different liquidity pools, A1, A2, so they don't even need humans. PTGC has so many different pools that some of these, if you, Coach was showing me, if you go down to just random pools, like right here, PTGC and Mega. I guarantee you no person has bought in a long, because look, it's the same wallet. It's the same bots buying over and over. So this is doing $579 in volume a day. And this is one pair. So if we all just sit back and we buy PTGC and UFO and Alien and Anki and just don't sell, and we create liquidity pools and create bot volume, you could just nuke the supply and pump all our bags and get rewards for doing nothing. I don't understand how this isn't clicking with people. Like, they're designed that way. Yeah, smash the like button, you weirdos. And anyone needs help, like, this is the most critical time right now. If you need help with your portfolio, go to vibrafinance.com and book a hour or I don't know. Yeah, it is an hour only. There's the 15-minute ones were just, it wasn't enough time. So book an hour and I'll spend whatever I need to with you. I don't care, but this is the most important time. I get what your standpoint is that it doesn't matter what the price is. If you're an institution, transfer. Exactly, bro. Exactly. It's not exactly. And they need to use it And when they're transmitting money, and the amount of money they're transmitting is going to require a certain amount of XRP. So if they're moving, $40 million, they need $40 million of XRP. So if it's at $3, you're going to need what? 13.333 million XRP. But if it's at $30, now you need what? 133,000. So now you need way less. So the higher price actually helps out. So yeah, bro, you get it. And a lot of people don't understand that it's going to be settling the entire world pretty much. Crypto capacity, let's go. I did sell too much, but still got a good sized bag. Yep. Who dumped Enki? Who dumped Empty? Who dumped Empty? Enki. SMH. An over emotional whale. Yeah, he's empty now, his bags. He was keeping his range bag. Now we'll fly. Yeah, let's go. Bridged out to buy M87 and Colt Dow. Bro, that's the move right there. All right, I'm cutting the stream short here. I'm going to go buy M87, Colt Dow right now. And I just got to let you guys know, I'm the ultimate long-term thinker. Don't do dumb shit. Well, guess what? I opened up a Mexi account. Goo God put a gun to my head and made me do it. So I only put $200 in. All right. I didn't do anything nuts. And I opened up on Casper, my first one, because I was so nervous. I put a $6 long on it. $6.24. So I'm trading with $50. And then I got Gully and put $100 on Veracity and then $92 on a 30x long on Clearpool. But it's not a 30x. It only was an 8x. And I'm so dumb. I didn't realize you can't open up two longs on the same coin. So I had like 94 cents left. So I clicked it all the way to max and I cranked leverage up to 30x thinking, all right, I'll just take $1 and put a 30x long on. And somehow it converted like a portion of this thing of my my current trade to 30x leverage. It brought my liquidation price up 0.0003. So it doesn't matter, but it's just hilarious because my 600%, it's actually, that's way off because I'm up $153 on 92. So that's like what, 160% max or something like that. But it's showing 615. So now I can go and I can click this button right here and now I can show I just hit 615%. So I can just go to Twitter and just flex this real quick when it's completely not even the case. So, bro, that's what I think these people are doing is they'll come in and they'll put a 2x long out, let it sit there for like 5 days, catch a bottom, and then add $1 at 80x average and be like, look, bro, I have an 80x long out. I'm printing all this 600% profit, and they won't show that money. So if they're not showing you their actual account here and they click this button and you see this little screenshot, they can just fudge it. So it looks like I'm up 600% on a 30x long when actually 0.004% of my trade is at 30x and the other 99.999% is at 8x. I just thought that shit was funny, but yeah, I popped my cherry on the leverage trade in, and guess what? Obviously, I'm fucking crushing it. Like 15%, 25, and 160. So I'm gonna let these things ride. Clearpool is not coming down to 25 cents. Like there ain't no way. No way. Let's see. Look at the hourly here. Let's see. Look at that. Yeah, it was up at 45. I mean, dude, look, this was the absolute bottom down here. And that wouldn't even have got me liquidated. Because I put it in at 28.3. So my liquidation price is it's so low. It ain't going there. So I'm gonna let this thing ride out and see what a $92 8x leverage could turn into if this thing pumps to $1 or something in the next 3 weeks. But this is the time, like you find a coin, like I'm looking at my list now and be like, all right, what's on the month right here? What's punished the most? What's down? So that's why I picked Clearpool. Like, so even like Velodrome, that could be a decent one. Once it starts to turn around. And Casper got punished. Yeah, Axelar. Same thing. Axelar is at the heart of bringing interoperability to the XRP ledger. So I just don't see a way that this coin just keeps going down. Like, it's going to be actually used and be valuable. Now you're going to need it. So these are the times when it's like, I mean, the absolute bottom was 45. I mean, and now you're getting in at 54. Like, so, and then you can leave them open for a couple months and turn $100 into, who knows? We'll see. Like, I'm a complete open book here. So I'm not going to do anything stupid. Just let them ride. And yeah, I probably should have been doing this earlier, but you know what? It's all good. I'm not trying to be do dumb shit and get people here addicted to leverage trading. But guys, if you want to leverage trade, click the link below. There's a $69 discount, and I'll send you a pack of Pokemon cards. Click the link down below and support my gambling habit. I'm just kidding. There ain't a fucking link. Oh man, guys, here we go. NYSE ARCA moves to convert Grayscale's XRP trust as firms push for SEC sign-off. This is all cool, but when the BlackRock ETF comes out, that's go time, because that's when the liquidity is going to start to pour into XRP. So watch out for that. This will be cool, whatever. It's some good news. But guys, the BlackRock ETF is the one that matters. All right, watch out for that one. And sure enough, the need for cross-border collaboration on digital assets is just, we just need it so bad right now. Adoption can't happen without practical cross-border cooperation. Guys, I can send money to Erwin in the Netherlands right now through all my crypto wallets. Zero problems. As soon as they tokenize shit and have the rails in place, I can send it to anyone. But they want control. Digital assets are on the rise. The markets expect a softer approach to regulation following a surge in value. This has built on mainstream adoption, including a new UK pilot program to issue digital gilts and the launch of a multitude of ETFs by global asset managers. I mean, that's cool, whatever. It's just funny that Ripple's at the heart of this, XRP's at the heart of this, and that's where the money's going to flow. Let's go. And we got tokenized Apollo Fund launched on 6 public blockchains. There you go. So Securitize announced a partnership with Apollo Global. And they're also working with Kraken and Coinbase, who are early investors. And JP Morgan and Onyx are involved. At the end of the day, they all use R3 Corda. Guys, they're all going to settle on public blockchains like Aptos, Avalanche, Ethereum, Inc., Polygon, and Solana. But that's all right. This is where they're just launching the early stuff. But when it's time, when the legislation comes, oh man, guys, it's going to flood to the American cryptos. And Silicon Valley even wants in on the meme coin craze. Dragonfly's Rob Hadrick warns people in crypto and tech tend to overreact to short-term market dynamics. Good. Let them overreact. That's when they can emotionally sell, and I can catch Clearpool at 28 cents when it had no right ever being down there. That coin, compared to the shit in this market, Clearpool should be 75 cents to $1 right now. Some of these cryptos are so undervalued, it's criminal. You know, just like the whole Titan X ecosystem. Everything in the Titan X ecosystem right now is at rock bottom. If it starts to move, hopefully we start to move. But man, like Morpheus has gotten punished. People are just capitulating. I keep buying. I got billions and billions, and I just feel like an idiot. But you know what? This is the same feeling when I was buying Sologenics in September last year. I would add $100 to it and be like, why am I doing this? It's been at like 7 cents for the last 6 months. I'll be able to buy this for the next God knows how long. And it was brutal buying it, but that was the right play. Because you know what? 2 months later, it 8x out of nowhere. And now I'll never get those prices again. And the day that happened, you immediately think to yourself, oh my God, why didn't I buy more earlier? Oh, I was buying 100. Why couldn't I just buy $200 worth? And that's what you think. And that's where Titan X ecosystem is right now. Titan X, Dragon X, Morpheus. I love Alien X. I got my Hydra miners. I got my last one claiming tomorrow. And sure enough, now it's fucking down 30%. So I was 3 billion profitable going into my last two, and these ones are down. So I made a total profit of like 1.8 billion Titan X over however long this was. So it was worth it. It was worth it, but it mentally didn't feel like I won. But that's all right. You know, they're going to come back. I really think so. I'm not worried about it. Christine Lagarde, the president of the European Central Bank and former managing director of the IMF, has publicly praised Ripple and hinted towards XRP. She also met with Michael Barr, who is a former Ripple advisor who later became the vice chair for the supervisor of the U.S. Fed. That's the people always say, well, bro, why can't the XRP ledger sucks, man? Why can't someone just fork it and just banks can use it? Yeah, you can do that, but you know what? You don't have an advisor on your board who's the vice chair at the Fed. You don't have a former employee, Rosie Rios, that came from the Treasury Department, who's on all the money. You don't have Tammy Camp over at Stronghold. You know, you don't have what's his face? Jeb McCaleb, who was there in the early years, who built a lot of this out and then went on to Stellar. Like, you just don't have all the relationships that Ripple has. They've been building and signing banks up for the last 10 years. So, yeah, you can have the same technology, but it's all about who you know in this world. Your network is your net worth. And who you know will help you out more than what you know. I promise. So, yeah, I was getting some texts and stuff earlier that we might see some stuff with Richard's case today, but nothing came out, I guess, today. You know, they had the SEC versus Schuler was 3:48 p.m. It got updated January 24th. So we'll see what happens. Maybe some news will come out tomorrow about what happened in that meeting. Hey guys, I'm seeing this now. I'm seeing Cubic is starting to really spread out. I'm seeing it a lot more on Twitter. People are starting to find out that, man, maybe the Cubic founder is actually Satoshi. What up, tight? Trust the plan. Prediction on Jasmine. It's going to $5 to $7, but not this cycle though. But it'll probably go to $2 to $2 this cycle. And then since it's being adopted in Japan everywhere, once this shit changes, it's going to go to a couple bucks, but it's not going to pull back 50%, bro. And that's the thing. We're not going to need to sell our assets. That's what people can't get out of their head. Oh, we got to, you sell if you want, but so the ones that are going to be more stable, like Hedera, Stellar, XRP, Flare, you can borrow against them. You can put them into liquidity pools and earn yield. And when they're at higher values, you'll be able to live off the interest. So we want to set ourselves up to never have to sell our assets. That's the key. That's the goal. That's how you win super hard. And Qubit, guys, I'm going to actually buy more right now. Like, I need to actually do that. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I am so bullish on this coin. I can't even tell you. And I've been doing research on it for a year and almost coming up to almost 2 years. Chaos Chris from the Verse, one of the smartest guys I know, hits me up. We found it in like March of 2024, March of last year, maybe. And 3 months later, Chris hits me up out of the blue. He's like, bro, you're not going to believe it. But he's like, come from beyond the founder. I'm almost positive he's Satoshi. And I was like, what? And he was like, dude, yeah. And he sent me a bunch of articles and all of the stuff and timestamps and just different things that made you really think, could this really be him? I don't know. And sure enough, I kind of had said it here and there, on stream, I said it, a bunch when we were talking about Cubic, that the founder, look into him. I think he's Satoshi. But now, when you got the Great Crypto Escape here, put out 3 videos about Cubic and about this exact same topic right here. This is my last post for now on the Cubic creator Come From Beyond. Actually, the Bitcoin creator Satoshi. The address 1CFB, which is Come From Beyond, and this is a custom address that was made, appears one day after Satoshi's emails Hal Finney to say they have inserted their initials into an address. The 15 Ubic. And if you know anything about this code, base 58, they don't count the vowels. So Q is actually the 15th letter. So it's cubic. So 15 Ubic belongs to Satoshi. That was another wallet he specifically created. So 1C Come From Beyond and Cubic. And he said he's been working on Cubic for at least, I think, 12 or 14 years. Satoshi disappears in mid-2011, and later that year, Come From Beyond creates their Bitcoin Talk account. We know CFB was active in the Bitcoin community from 2009. Why did they only create an account after Satoshi disappeared? Were they posting as Satoshi before this? Just a coincidence. Just a coincidence. Just a coincidence, consensus says. When CFB joins Bitcoin Talk, he starts asking how to mine Litecoin, even though he's technically very skilled and already has been mining Bitcoin. Was he trying to appear like a noob? He was trolling. All right. BC Next. What he did is more compelling of an argument than the fact that CFB already hid his identity for 4 years and acted as the character BC Next when he created NXT, which went on to become like one of the top 2 or 3 best performing ICOs in crypto history. So BC Next was originally the name of an NXT, I think, and he changed it. If you move the initials CFB slightly around, they turn into BTC. And here it is. CFB rotated 180 degrees and then flip it. And what do you get? BTC. Coincidence? Yeah, it could be. Could be a coincidence. There's 6 little things, but his videos are way better. So definitely I swear I had another one. Oh, yeah, this was his comment because he just got a ton of backlash. Like when I was saying it too, people were just like, dude, shut up. You're so stupid, bro. Come on. But he's got his 3 videos. Go follow the Crypto Great Escape, or the Crypto Escapes his handle, and go to his YouTube channel right here, the Great Crypto Escape, and watch these last 3 videos. And in one of the video, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to just play it right now. We ain't got shit else to do. The only thing I was going to talk about was Stronghold and how bullish this coin is. And the Stronghold deployer on ETH now had $1 billion in it and is down to 75 million. So they've got all the liquidity pools, all the market makers. Everyone's got their coins, it looks like. So I think Stronghold is looking pretty dang bullish right now. But what do I know? So, all right, let's see his videos.
Buy on blue, sell on red.
Let me know if you guys can hear this too.
Gives extremely accurate trade signal.
Hey guys, so I'm back with another video about whether Sergey Ivancheglo is Satoshi Nakamoto. I know I did a video already on this. It's not going to be the focus of this channel forever. I've got some Cubic videos that will be coming up soon, but I just want to talk about it in this video because it's interesting. I've been looking into it a lot, and I found some more evidence that I think adds to it. I just think it's an interesting conversation.
That's not the one. My bad, fam. Hold on one sec. Hold on one sec. This is it. My bad.
And then we've got
this guy. There's a guy here that
Satoshi Nakamoto. A lot of people think it might be Hal Finney, who's dead now. I would say possibly not Hal Finney because there's apparently at times when Satoshi was
appreciate you, Camo Joe. Yeah, guys, we're gonna be watching this now. So if you want to peace out,
this stuff in this video, by the way,
smash that like. Hold on, let me just pause this.
So I have to take a leap of faith on other people's research.
So yeah, so if you don't want to watch this, I'm gonna just watch this. I ain't got nothing else left. Went through everything. smash that like button. And if you need help with your portfolio, anything, go to Vibra Finance, book a one-on-one, reach out to me on Twitter if you got questions or you just need something quick. I'm always here to help. I don't mind. You're never going to be bugging me. Let's go.
Trusted, but people have said that he was taking part in the marathon when some emails were sent and some code was committed, something like that. Anyway, also, if Satoshi Nakamoto was dead, you imagine if he knew how big a success Bitcoin was, he would have wanted to leave that Bitcoin to his family, and his family now, Satoshi Nakamoto, I think, is the 5th richest person in the world now. I think probably a trillionaire or close to it. I don't know. They should have an incredible amount of money anyway. If Satoshi Nakamoto died, you imagine he would have left that money to his family. And Hal Finney was sick for a long, long time, so you imagine he would have had a plan to leave that money to his family. And I imagine at this point, his family would be like, okay, let's cash out a bit of this, even if they wanted to keep the Satoshi Nakamoto mystery going for a long time. So that's just an interesting one. The other one then is Nick Szabo. Nick Szabo, if you reverse his initials, you get SN, which is like Satoshi Nakamoto, and he was a huge founder in the crypto industry, and I think he was BitGold he invented. He's one of the pioneers of crypto technology before Bitcoin. But there's interesting reasons why Nick Szabo wouldn't be Satoshi Nakamoto. I'm not going to go into that now in this video, but in some of Satoshi Nakamoto's emails, he wasn't aware of some of Nick Szabo's work, or work that Nick Szabo would have been aware of. And maybe Nick Szabo was trying to throw a curveball there, but I doubt it. It just seemed like it just seems like it possibly isn't Nick Szabo. But it's something interesting to look in. Just Google yourself why Nick Szabo isn't Satoshi, and you'll see a lot of information about it. But anyway, so there's kind of 3 theories here, I think, that you can see with Satoshi Nakamoto. Is either he's dead. If he's dead, he probably died suddenly and didn't have a succession plan, didn't leave his keys to anyone. That's definitely a possibility. But you would think somebody linked to him at this point would have come out and said, but somebody must know who Satoshi Nakamoto is, and family related must know who he is, and would have came out at this point and said, yeah, hey, this was Satoshi Nakamoto, but maybe the family wants to keep his work secret, like he did. The other thing is he could be just completely egoless and not care about the money. So maybe Satoshi Nakamoto doesn't care that he's saving all this money, wants to keep the mystery alive, and that that's what he's up to, and that's completely possible. Or the other thing is Satoshi Nakamoto is working on other projects and went on to work in the world of crypto, and we're all aware of who he is. And he's got a plan in place, and there's a plan taking place here. And that's what I'm going to touch on in this video. So initially I heard links that this guy was Satoshi Nakamoto, and I was like, oh, fuck off. Like, I hear this for every project. I'm not going to become the guy who's into Cubic and outside, Cubic founder Satoshi Nakamoto, just because it, pushes my agenda more. But anyway, then I started getting these messages, a lot of them on X, from all these kind of mysterious people out there, and they're saying, oh, you need to check out why Ivan Chaglo could be Satoshi, and I was basically just thinking like, oh, I have no interest in that. I think that's rubbish. But this one person sent on this thing, and they said that they started the Discord, and they most importantly sent me on a video of why Ivan Chaglo could be Satoshi. I didn't even respond. It took me a few days. And eventually I was like, look, if this person went through the effort of making a video, sent it on to me, and was very polite, the least I could do is check out the video. And when I checked out the video, it kind of blew my mind. I was like, wow, like there's a lot of great information in here. And and that's what has led me down this path now of thinking it's possible that Sergey Ivan Chaglo could be Satoshi Nakamoto. By the way, I don't think, if I'm to guess, I don't think he is, but I just think it's really, really possible that he could be.
These Sephora colognes are a scam. Did you know these luxury fragrances cost almost nothing to make? David and I used to spend so much money on premium fragrances, and their smell would get
Jesus.
So some interesting things. Sorry, I'm taking breaks there because my baby's in the background here, and just seeing if he's going to wake up and see can I get this video done before he does wake up. But some interesting things anyway about Satoshi Nakamoto. So he created Bitcoin, as we know, and the last communication they ever sent was in 2011. When they said they had a few other things in their mind as always, and they've moved on to other things, and that Bitcoin's in good hands. So Satoshi actually moved on to other things, which that's the last message they ever sent, which was interesting. So what were they moving on to? Were they moving on to die, or were they moving on to another project? It would kind of be suggested that they were moving on to another project, and they had suggested, I believe, in other emails that there was limitations with Bitcoin, and that was something they wanted to work on in the future. So then that was 2011. Then in 2013, a project popped up called NXT. And NXT was basically a project that was a proof of stake project, fixed a lot of issues with Bitcoin, and it was called and the creator was called BC Next. So, Bitcoin Next is what you could take from that. They're a mysterious person, and they kept their identity secret for 4 years. And then in 2017, they actually revealed who they were, because in 2017 they created another project called IOTA, and at that time they actually there was a whole kind of thing. People were saying, "No way is it this guy." People didn't believe it, and the CFB guy was it. And then he actually signed a message showing that he was, in fact, the owner of one of the initial wallets owned by BC Next, and people were like, "Oh my God, so he is BC Next," and he kept it quiet for 4 years. So this guy, Bitcoin Next, kept it quiet for 4 years and then revealed that he was the creator of NXT. So, Bitcoin was officially launched in 2009, January 3rd. So that's, big thing. So January 3rd, 2009. And then if we look at some things here, so remembering that our guy here is called Come From Beyond, and it was January 3rd, 2009 that Bitcoin was created. On the 13th of January 2009, so 10 days after Bitcoin was created, the Bitcoin address, so this is called a vanity address. So it's an address that is customized by someone. So it was a customized address. Someone made this address rather than it being just a randomly generated one. 10 days after the creation of Bitcoin, they created address 1CFB, and then a load of other information. Some of this information is actually relevant in here, but we won't dive into that too much. So 10 days after that, someone put in CFB, and CFB is the initials of Come From Beyond, and everyone knows Come From Beyond in that name. And as you can see, he writes it with a capital C, a small f, and a capital B. So the first time that Come From Beyond ever, so you might think maybe Come From Beyond saw this address years later. So Sergey Ivancheglo being Come From Beyond, maybe years later, he saw this early Bitcoin address and decided, that's cool, I'm going to use that name. So he might come up with the name Come From Beyond in 2013 or something like that. But actually, if you go back to 2002 and all the way up to 2009, you can find loads of documents written by Come From Beyond. And it turns out that he was using this name for a long, long time, mysteriously as well, before Bitcoin's creation. So 7 years before Bitcoin's creation, Come From Beyond was using that name, and then it appears in one of the very first Bitcoin addresses 10 days after Bitcoin was created. And then if you see one of Satoshi's emails, he just says here, I just thought of something. Eventually there will be some interest in brute force scanning Bitcoin addresses to find one with the first few characters customized to your name, kind of like getting phone number spells out something. I said, just by chance, I have my initials. Interesting. He said, just by chance, I have my initials. Now, there is NF in an early address as well, which could be Nick Szabo or it could be Satoshi's initials backwards. But only one day after creation, or after this email was sent, this address was created. Now, it says that this here, where I pulled this from, that this wallet was created on September 13th, 2019. I believe that's wrong. I think it was created on the 13th of January 2009. If you actually go and search the address online. And then there's a lot of stuff in here. I don't want to get into it too much, but it's just about vanity addresses and Come From Beyond explaining how, in his language, if you actually look into it, what this address actually says, and you pick out these numbers, there's a lot of mystery in here. It actually says 1CFB 2 SN. So 1CFB 2 Satoshi Nakamoto. So kind of suggesting that number 1 personality is CFB, number 2 personality is Satoshi Nakamoto, probably number 3 personality is BC Next when he created NXT. And then he goes on to say that things like that he goes and he uses, he kind of uses like multiple personalities. And nobody knows what his true personality is. People would say that Satoshi Nakamoto was this egoless person, but nobody has ever met Satoshi Nakamoto. They don't know. People would say Come From Beyond is this narcissistic guy. Nobody's ever met. There are, very few people have met Come From Beyond, but if you actually listen to him in interviews and stuff like that, it seems reasonable enough. A lot of them aren't in English, but I've heard them in some interviews. Seems like he's reasonable enough. So nobody really truly knows the guy as well. Maybe Come From Beyond is a personality. Maybe Satoshi Nakamoto's personality. Who knows? But what's really cool is that he says that he's using riddles, and he also says somewhere out there that he uses. He was interested in the Da Vinci Code, and he's trying to use all that cryptic sort of stuff in his in the way he created things. So super interesting is that's all in there. Then this is one of the most mind-blowing things. So if you go to the 9th of January 2009, so only 6 days after Bitcoin's creation, and it's the 4th Bitcoin address ever, and this is a vanity address as well, it seems, it says 15 Ubic. Now, maybe that's a coincidence, but that is cubic. That's Ubic. It's very close to cubic. The CFB wallet was created soon after, and then you've got one that nearly has the name cubic in there, what does the 15 mean? I don't know. Some people might be able to explain it. You know, if you actually took.
So that's where he didn't. Somebody commented in the video here saying that, oh, dude, in the language or whatever he's using, they don't have they don't have I and O's maybe or whatever vowels. I think it's vowel whatever. So cubic 1.5 is actually the 15th letter there. So that's actually a Q. So the 3 out of the first 4 Bitcoin addresses ever created, 1 CFB come from beyond, 2 BTC next, which turned into an INX. And the other thing too is IOTA, his other project. People think it's a dead project. Oh, it's nothing. They just signed the biggest deal ever to work with all kinds of robotics and AI stuff in Dubai. Like what they're going to do is when you have a bunch of robots that need to talk to each other and communicate real quick, that's what IOTA is for. So that project is not garbage. It's actually being adopted now, which I think is pretty funny. So this guy knew what he was doing.
Took a 1 from a 5, a 4 kind of looks like a Q. Maybe that's what he was doing. He's kind of going with the Da Vinci Code stuff here, trying to not make things explicitly too obvious, but that is a huge coincidence to have CFB in an early Bitcoin address and almost a cubic spelling in a Bitcoin address. And I'll show you in a second that, you know, Sergey Ivancheglo was talking about cubic, you know, back a long time ago. So 2012 is the first online mentioning that he has a cubic. What's really important here is to look at how well written all this stuff is. A lot of people say Sergey Ivancheglo, he doesn't speak English naturally, but Ivancheglo says that he was using things like.
And look, the author come from beyond with the C lowercase f uppercase B. So what are the odds that he uses it that way and then that one Bitcoin address? Why, if that was your middle initial, you know, if your name was like Curtis Franklin Booger, you would capitalize all 3 of the initials if that was your name. And the fact that he didn't there, I mean, I don't know, man. It's starting to look pretty crazy.
Like Quillbot, to go and put what he was saying into better English, basically. And there's some evidence for that in Satoshi's writings. But you can see he wrote about cubic in 2012, and it's really well written, and it seems like it's wrote by someone who is a native English speaker. So this guy was involved in crypto right from the start, you know, from early 2000s, and he was involved in Bitcoin very, 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 very early. And he most likely, if he's not Satoshi Nakamoto, he is a really good idea who Satoshi Nakamoto is, and is in some way, you know, could link to him or some sort of sway over.
That's the other thing too. If he doesn't know if he's not Satoshi, he 100% knows who Satoshi is. So in my opinion, that's just as good either way, either or. How big of a selling point is that? The freaking creator of Bitcoin or the creator, the only guy in the world that knows who Satoshi possibly is a creator of one of the biggest, best AI projects. It's like, guys, oh, I'm so excited.
That, which is, you know, it's really worth knowing. I'm still not saying definitely come from beyond Satoshi Nakamoto. I'm just saying there's some interesting evidence in there. And you know, cubic first mentioned was only 3 years after Bitcoin was created, and that first address was there then. And Sergey Ivancheglo says that ideas for cubic go back over 20 years.
Attention retirees, if you're willing to be at your computer from 9 a.m. to 10:45 a.m.
And then if we just look in here, he then said, and Satoshi Nakamoto wrote this, and he said that, unfortunately, I can't receive incoming connections from where I am. So that's really interesting. So apparently he was in some area where he was struggling to receive incoming connections. Now, Sergey Ivancheglo is from Belarus, but he operated in Russia, and one of his email addresses, if you look it up, is a .Russia email address. I wonder if so look, written here, .ru, so that means that email address is based in Russia. So he was in Russia, possibly using proxies in Russia, I don't know, but he was based there to some extent, and then we know that Russia, with doing some of the work that he was doing, some of this cryptography work, was difficult to have connections in that area. Again, that's just an interesting thing that was written by Satoshi Nakamoto. Could be just a building that Satoshi Nakamoto was in, but it seems to me like there might be something in there that he was based in Russia. another really interesting thing. So Cointelegraph did an investigation trying to find out who Satoshi was, and discovered that he hid his online activity through a Russian proxy, which works similar to a VPN. Now, again, important to know, I didn't do this study, but Cointelegraph is really, really legitimate. They did a study on this, and they reckon that he was using a Russian proxy. Satoshi Nakamoto was, and then the proxy appears to give an IP address, which is this IP address. And in December 2008, so a year before Bitcoin was released, a user named Sergey had posted reviews of Vietnamese hotels between 2008 and 2009 using the same proxy as Satoshi. So Russian developers often go to Vietnam to avoid the country's severe winters. So is it possible? I mean, they're saying they did a study on this. They found this IP address was linked to someone called Sergey, and that later became Satoshi Nakamoto, which is mind-blowing. Now, interestingly, in this article I pulled this from, they were trying to suggest that Satoshi Nakamoto was someone called Sergey Nazarov, who created Chainlink, and that's really possible too. And then Sergey Nazarov, that's S and N, will be Satoshi Nakamoto. But the overwhelming evidence is actually more, from what I can see, in Ivan Cheglow's favor. When you look at those early crypto addresses, you look at Nazarov seemed to be working on a lot of other things at the time. But it's very possible that Nazarov and Ivan Cheglow worked together on Bitcoin. They both knew each other at the time, and it's definitely, if Bitcoin was created by one of them, the other one knows that they created it. But I want to make that clear that it could also be Sergey Nazarov. Could be a lot of people, but again, we've got evidence, really strong evidence in favor of Sergey Ivan Cheglow being Satoshi Nakamoto. And then we've got, this is the big one, is we've got Ivan Cheglow himself saying, yeah, I am Satoshi, I just haven't revealed it to the world yet. And this, he says this openly in some discourse and explains why he is Satoshi Nakamoto. He says that he has 800,000 Bitcoin, but he only is going to have 400,000 now, because he's going through a divorce, and he either needs to walk away with 50%, and it's either she or him selling first to reveal who Satoshi Nakamoto is. He says that if he doesn't reveal that he owns 800 Bitcoin, if it ever came out, all of it will go to her. So he has to reveal all of his belongings and everything he owns. So, that's what he's suggesting, is that him or her are going to have to sell once this divorce goes through in the next year. So then, this is really interesting. So reports then studied Satoshi's writing, and they found that he used inconsistent British and American writing techniques. So a new report was published that studied his writing style and the creator's use of expressions and spellings. The examination showed that Satoshi's spelling and American and British wording indicates it was very inconsistent and littered with misspellings as well. The research suggests the inconsistencies might have been done on purpose, but were possibly part of the inventor's operation security. But that report went on to say that they also thought that maybe he isn't a native speaker, and that he was using some sort of tool, and that tool was giving out these different sort of spellings. And then Sergey Ivan Cheglow said himself that he was using a tool kind of like Quillbot to write things and paraphrase it. And for that reason, some things were spelled in UK sort of English or British English, and some were used in American English. Really, really interesting. And another mark that would make you actually believe that possibly Ivan Cheglow is Satoshi Nakamoto. Then, there's a lot of evidence apparently that supports, or people suggest by the way the code was written, that was written by someone with an electrical engineering background close to the metal. Just reminds you of Qubit because it's written on bare metal. And then Sergey Ivan Cheglow, we know, has an electrical and engineering background. I did try though to find, where experts suggest this about Satoshi having an electrical engineering background. I couldn't find a lot of information about it. So that makes me think that maybe the person writing this article was writing it trying to push that Ivan Cheglow was Satoshi Nakamoto. So that could be bullshit. We'll see. And then a lot of people have said that Sergey Ivan Cheglow, he's not, he wouldn't write a white paper like the Bitcoin white paper. But actually, people say that the Bitcoin white paper isn't super academic. Doesn't have a lot of citations. It wasn't written properly. It kind of mimicked the style of other white papers, and it's reasonable to assume they wanted to appear academic but didn't hold a formal degree in the field by Satoshi Nakamoto. So that would kind of lead you to think as well that Ivan Cheglow's haphazard way of doing white papers would link to Bitcoin's white paper to some extent. And then if we go through some email dumps there, we see that Satoshi received the 2,000 cash donation. It seemed to come from them, but the bootstrapping kind of way that was done seemed to suggest that it came from a college graduate, or someone who was quite poor, which Ivan Cheglow probably was at that time, and not from someone that was kind of richer or professional like Nick Szabo would have been at the time. So it seems like a young person who didn't have a lot of money would have created Bitcoin at the time. Again, would indicate and point at someone like Ivan Cheglo.
God, these commercials. Unbelievable. I wish I could afford YouTube Premium.
Then, we've got the initials thing, and we see that Satoshi Nakamoto, but, SI is Sergey Ivan Cheglo's initials. But it turns out that he said, well, my full name is actually Sergey Nokolowicz or something like that, Ivan Cheglo. He thought it was too obvious to pick the second letter of his name, so he picked the middle letter of his full name to add a bit of mystery to it. And that's how he linked his name to Satoshi Nakamoto's identity.
All right, this is the video I wanted to show you. The other thing we already saw about the initials
on Bitcoin. I'm going to share. You know what? Maybe it is possible. Maybe he could be Satoshi Nakamoto.
Hi guys, today I'm going to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt the true identity of Satoshi Nakamoto, his various crypto projects, and what he plans to do with his 800,000 Bitcoin and when. So who is Satoshi Nakamoto? The mysterious founder of Bitcoin has kept his identity a secret, until now that is. Many have tried and many have failed to unmask Satoshi. All of the theories on the internet about Satoshi's identity are false. Many people falsely assume that Adam Back, Wei Dai, Nick Szabo, Hal Finney, Len Sassaman, and Sergey Nazarov are Satoshi Nakamoto. These incorrect theories stem from the fact that Satoshi first published the Bitcoin white paper on the cypherpunk mailing list on Halloween of 2008. All of these names listed above are on the cypherpunk mailing list and pioneers of cryptography. Despite all of this, none of them were behind the Satoshi account on Bitcoin Talk. So let's prove why each of these candidates isn't Satoshi, starting with Adam Back. Adam was not Satoshi.
So here we go. All the cypherpunks that a lot of people always hear. Oh, this came from the cypherpunks. This came from the cypherpunks. Well, here we go.
Because there are multiple confirmed emails between Adam Back and Satoshi. During these email correspondences, Adam Back told Satoshi about Wei Dai's B-Money paper, which Satoshi was unaware of. After Satoshi became aware of Wei Dai's B-Money paper, Satoshi emailed Wei Dai. Wei Dai had previously worked with Nick Szabo, and the fact that Satoshi was unaware of Wei Dai's B-Money paper proves that Satoshi is neither Wei Dai or Nick Szabo. When Wei Dai himself was asked if he believed that Nick Szabo was Satoshi, he responded with, "In Satoshi's early emails to me, he was apparently unaware of Nick Szabo's ideas and talks about how Bitcoin expands on your ideas into a complete working system. I can't see why, if Nick was Satoshi, he would say things like that to me in private." Hal Finney is not Satoshi because of the numerous confirmed emails between Hal and Satoshi. There's also the fact that Hal Finney was running a race and crossed the finish line 2 minutes before Satoshi sent out an email to Bitcoin community member Mike Hearn. Len Sassaman is not Satoshi because Satoshi's account on the P2P forum posted it in 2014 stating, "I am not Dorian Nakamoto," almost 3 years after Len died. Some people claim that Sergey Nazarov is Satoshi because he owns the smartcontract.com domain name, which was originally registered a few days before the Bitcoin white paper was published. However, Sergey Nazarov was not the one who registered this domain name in 2008. It was transferred to him in 2014. This domain could have been registered by any cypherpunk, including the real Satoshi, as the term smart contract dates back to 1994 with this Nick Szabo paper. Satoshi himself registered multiple domains that he never used, including titcoin.org, a name he almost decided to use.
Yes, what a legend.
It should also be noted that Sergey Nazarov was busy working for the investment firm First Mark Capital and then launching his own investment company, QED Capital. He was also working on his peer-to-peer tourist experience marketplace called Exist Local. All of this happened during the time when Satoshi was developing Bitcoin. Now let's disprove the theory that Satoshi died or went to jail before Bitcoin went mainstream. Satoshi generated a new Bitcoin address for every block reward that he received while mining. We can assume that every unspent 50 Bitcoin block reward address either belongs to Satoshi or someone who lost their private keys a long time ago. In 2021, around the time when Craig Wright was attempting to prove that he was Satoshi, a mysterious individual posted an anonymous message with 145 Bitcoin addresses mined in 2009. Each address contains 50 Bitcoin and has never been moved since their creation. The owner of these 145 addresses signed each address with their respective private key, proving that he was the rightful owner of these 7,250 Bitcoin.
Bitcoin was almost called Titcoin.
No one other than Satoshi would hold Bitcoin for this amount of time and not spend them. This was also at a time when there were only a handful of individuals mining Bitcoin. On top of that, in October of 2024, a Bitcoin wallet that mined Bitcoin just 5 days after the Genesis address moved some coins to an exchange. 5 days after Bitcoin launched, the only individuals who were mining were Hal Finney and Satoshi. Since Hal is dead, it is very clear that Satoshi is still very much alive and well. So we've covered who Satoshi is. Now let's dive into who Satoshi is. Satoshi is a programmer from Belarus by the name of Sergei Nikolaevich Ivancheglo. He also has been known by the aliases Come From Beyond, CFB for short, BC Next, and Satoshi Nakamoto. Of course, when Sergei Ivancheglo has been asked if he is Satoshi, he has said that he is not Satoshi, as has every other individual accused of being Satoshi. However, none of the other individuals pointed their finger at another candidate. They merely denied the accusation and moved on. Sergei Ivancheglo, however, has tried to deflect from the fact that he is Satoshi by claiming that Sergei Nazarov is Satoshi. This is a clear act of projection. Sergei Ivancheglo does not want to be known as Satoshi at this time, so he deflected the attention away from him onto Sergei Nazarov, who is not Satoshi. Projection is a common trait among those who have cluster B personality disorders, which includes narcissistic personality disorder. On Sergei Ivancheglo's website, he has admitted to having a narcissistic personality disorder from his doctor, so do not believe him when he says that Sergei Nazarov is Satoshi. He's projecting what he does not want to be known about himself onto Sergei Nazarov. Now let's get into how Sergei Ivancheglo, Come From Beyond, CFB, BC Next, and Satoshi Nakamoto are all the same individual. The final email communication we've received from Satoshi came in response to a message from community member Mike Hearn in April of 2011. At this point, Satoshi had already been absent from the Bitcoin community for some time. When asked if he was going to return to the community or not, his response was, "I've moved on to other things. It's in good hands with Gavin and everyone." This proves that Satoshi was active in another crypto project after he left Bitcoin. Satoshi's final comment on the Bitcoin Talk forum came in a comment in December of 2010, where he stated, "As Gavin and I have said clearly before, the software is not at all resistant to DOS attack. This is one improvement, but there are still more ways to attack than I can count." So Satoshi left Bitcoin because the project had too many technical flaws and could not achieve his vision. So what was this new project that Satoshi was working on? The Satoshi accounts never posted again. This is because Satoshi started his new project under a different pseudonym. The new project NXT launched in 2013 and was the first fully proof-of-stake blockchain 9 years before Ethereum transitioned to a proof-of-stake consensus. The founder of NXT went by the pseudonym BC Next. His username hints at the fact that he is Satoshi. BC Next, Bitcoin Next, and that NXT was Bitcoin's next evolutionary step. This hint is in line with the behavior of Sergei Ivancheglo, as he has been known to purposefully confuse and manipulate people's ideas about his true identity. Many community members speculated that BC Next was Satoshi because they both use pseudonyms, and NXT fixed many of the technical flaws inherent in Bitcoin's design. The other account that posed as a developer of the NXT project went under the pseudonym Come From Beyond, or CFB for short. CFB has been active since the beginning of the Bitcoin Talk forum, and the username CFB dates back to at least 2000, with this article written here. There were many discussions on posts on the Bitcoin Talk forum where CFB would respond to BC Next and vice versa. Still, some in the community claimed that CFB and BC Next were the same individual. CFB even went as far as making a post asking people to pose their arguments as to why he could or couldn't be the same individual as BC Next. Eventually, development on NXT ended because it could not achieve his vision. Similarly to how Satoshi left Bitcoin, Sergei Ivancheglo started a new project called IOTA. In order to shed more credibility on IOTA, Sergei signed a message with BC Next's private key, proving that the two individuals, BC Next and CFB, were one and the same. So now we have cryptographic proof that BC Next is CFB, but can we prove that CFB is also Satoshi? One thing we know for certain is that Sergei Ivancheglo likes to confuse people by assuming different online identities and changing his writing style. This has been documented many times, including here. And here, where Come From Beyond states that BC Next was a sock puppet created for NXT and will never appear again, like Satoshi and Bitcoin. And here, where he jokingly admitted to being Satoshi and shared some details on how he picked that name. And here, where he gives a link on how to change writing styles, states he holds 800,000 Bitcoin, and then claims to not be Satoshi. Then we also have this post where a user asks Come From Beyond about one of Satoshi's addresses starting with 1 CFB. Another user chimed in saying that the CFB alias was not used at the time of the address's creation, and that Sergei corrected the user by posting links to some old articles Come From Beyond had written in 2002. He then goes on to discuss the potential of having multiple personalities, hinting at the fact that he does own the 1 CFB address and is Satoshi. Here he basically admits he is Satoshi again. Of course, the 1 CFB address could be chalked up to a mere coincidence, but in this thread here, we have Satoshi talking about vanity addresses, where someone's initials are the first few characters of an address. The very next day after Satoshi made this post, the 1 CFB address was created. And if this isn't enough to convince you, BC Next had a vanity address that started with 1 BCN. Of course, BC Next is confirmed to be Come From Beyond, as this was cryptographically proved in 2017. Another confirmed Satoshi address starts with the characters 15UBIC, which is a vanity address that looks surprisingly similar to Cubic. Cubic was first publicly talked about in 2012. It is safe to assume the name Cubic has been in Sergey's head for years prior to the official announcement. Again, we have Sergey stating he owns 800,000 Bitcoin, an amount that nobody other than Satoshi would own. This is more than even BlackRock owns. Here we have CFB talking about how he found some of his old private keys hard-coded into an old Bitcoin miner. He states that at the time, Bitcoin could only be mined with CPU. If you look at the date of creation of CFB's Bitcoin Talk Forum account, it was created in November of 2011. However, GPU mining was introduced to Bitcoin in October of 2010, meaning that Sergey was engaging with the Bitcoin Talk Forum before his CFB account was created there. This is because before Sergey was posting on Bitcoin Talk under CFB, he was posting under the Satoshi account.
They're implementing another work platform.
Jesus.
He's stating that if anything were to happen to him, 250,000 Bitcoin would be sent to the United States' worst enemy. This also aligns with this article that states that the US government knows who Satoshi is. Perhaps the most conclusive evidence to sum up all of the information outlined above happened when a researcher examined a piece of code uploaded by Satoshi. He found that Satoshi was trying to hide his identity behind a Russian proxy. After searching the internet, results showed that a user named Sergey had used the same proxy as Satoshi to log into a website to review hotels in Vietnam. To top it off, there was also an April Fool's joke paper written by BC Next, CFB, and Satoshi. The subject matter of this paper is satire, but perhaps the biggest joke about this paper is the fact that it claims to have 3 authors, when in fact, Sergey Vancheglo wrote this by himself under his 3 pseudonyms. So there you have it, Sergey Vancheglo, the founder of Bitcoin, NXT, IOTA, and Cubic. Even after Sergey's departure, IOTA is still under active development and has partnered with the government in the UAE to make IOTA's core technology the backbone of their data and financial infrastructure. Meanwhile, Sergey is working on Cubic, which launched at the end of 2023. Cubic aims to solve the problems that he sees in cryptocurrency projects, including the ones he created. Whether or not he will be able to solve these problems this time around is anyone's guess. Now that we know that Sergey Vancheglo is Satoshi Nakamoto and that he holds 800,000 Bitcoin, let's see what he plans to do with those coins. Sergey has said that he is going through a divorce and has moved to Cyprus after the proceedings. He states that he needs to split his 800,000 Bitcoin holdings with his wife. According to the laws in Cyprus, if Sergey withholds finances from his wife during a divorce and the finances are discovered, his wife will get 100% of the undisclosed assets. Sergey cannot spend his Bitcoin holdings until after he has been in Cyprus for 183 days. These 183 days end sometime in January of 2025. His ex-wife has no intention of holding these Bitcoin and plans to sell them as soon as possible. Sergey has said that it'll be a race between him and his wife to cash out on their Bitcoin holdings first. Sergey has said he plans to crash the price of Bitcoin to single digits to send a message. He also states that he is not upset about his wife taking half of his fortune because he will make far more money on AI. When Sergey talks about AI, he's talking about his new revolutionary AI algorithm called AI Girth, which will launch on Cubic. It is safe to assume that Sergey plans on selling his Bitcoin holdings to buy Cubic. The irony of Bitcoin being created to oppose reckless government money printing, only to end up getting adopted by those very same governments it was intended to replace. The final step in this unlikely journey is when Satoshi beats the government at their own game by devaluing their currency, Bitcoin.
What do you think, guys? What do you think? Julia, I'm 98 convinced, Sergey. Yeah, bro. Me too. Me too. He's the only person I think it could possibly be, unless it was the U.S. government or the NSA. But I think the CIA or NSA, they hijacked it after a couple years because it definitely is not what it was set out to be. But man, guys, could you imagine that? Imagine if he does that and dumps for his 400,000 Bitcoin and crash the price. The whole market would crash, I think. But if that happened, that would be the best thing for XRP because all that money would panic flood into the BlackRock ETF, into RLUSD, and they would save the day right there. But I don't think that would happen. That shit would get it would be an OTC deal. There's no way. His wife is selling OTC unless he personally did that. I don't know, but when you have a guy with borderline narcissistic, what do they call it, tendencies or whatever, you never know. But man, all right, Pulse Chain Trainer. Let me go Let me go look at the PTGC chart for you. And you wanted to see what the stochastic RSI, I think. Let me go back and look. Oh, the RSI. So it is. It's nowhere near topping. It's nowhere near the top. But I mean, we're definitely pushing up. But I mean, how big were these dips? %, 45%. But what Gugad was telling me earlier, which was an interesting point, is that it never comes back below its previous. It always comes back to like its previous high. It never goes below it. Like this next retrace here, what shouldn't be much below, 5,400. So yeah, definitely use the RSIs, and when they start coming, when they're at the top or they're rolling over, like right now we're still climbing, so we could be making one of these moves like this and still end up, way up here. But once it starts coming down, yeah. But the problem is, bro, when you sell, you got the 6% tax, and then the rebuy is 6. So you got 12% right there that you're losing right away. So a 25% dip, you're only gaining 12%. So with the staking and the locking and the extra interest that you can get from that, I feel like, so for a net, if it dips 45%, so it's a net 20 or net 30, 28%. If it dips 40, plus you're getting some interest, say, over that month. So say it's like 25%. I mean, is that really the end of the world to have to buy back and risk it all for a 25%? And especially if you're doing it with big numbers. I don't know. So that's the thing with PTGC for me and these 6% tax tokens. It really prevents me from selling and scalping and swing trading. I didn't even realize I didn't have it. The PTGC pulse chart. That was the mega chart. Wow, this is so slow. This is crazy. Yeah, there's gold too. Oh, that's another thing I didn't even talk about. Go watch Wales' stream from earlier today. It was so good. Talking about how this is all just Fugazi. Trump is blowing smoke up our ass. Yeah, he's going to give us back a little bit of money, but they're not fixing any problems. Gold should be crashing right now, but gold's making new all-time highs. The banks are scooping up gold like crazy. For what reason? There's something going on, and we know who's causing the problems. Look at all the CEOs. 95% of them, where they come from, or where are they even citizens of the United States? Or are they like these foreign? It's crazy, man. But I don't know. I think we got 3 years to make our money and get the hell out, because who knows if we get another Biden in next, or an anti-Trump person next that just gets rid of everything he does. I don't know. It's tough. All right, so the highest it was up at 94, and we're now sitting at 78. Yeah, I think we might come back down. But the problem is with PTGC, you can't really use charts or TA because they have the Dow funds, bro, where they can just decide to, oh, let's just take a billion pulse and just buy the shit out of it and pump it today. So that's why for me, between the Dow, the ability for them to do that, and the 12% in and out, I feel like it's not even worth scalping. So, PTGC is definitely, it could run up a little bit more, could get, oh my God, it could get to 20 pulse. So if you bought 100 million PTGC back in the day, you could now swap that for almost 360 million pulse. If you bought when it was at October. Holy shit. All this run has really been this hard in the last wow. There's so much going on. And when things are pumping and your bag's doing good, I don't look deep at this stuff, but Jesus. Yeah, that went parabolic. So I'm guessing that we kind of topped off. Rags, and I think you're asking because it was probably talked about in Rags' chat last night. But my gut, bro, do not look at the charts with PTGC because of the Dow and what they can do. It's not manipulation because those coins were legit coming from the buy and sell tax. So that the Dow votes, that's what they want to do. There's nothing wrong with that. So yeah, I just would be very careful with PTGC and even UFO with trying to do TA on them. But yeah, anyone's got questions, man? I'm just hanging out now. This is one of the longer streams I've done. I usually try to keep them right around an hour, but we're just chilling. All you guys realize now that there's a 98% chance that Sergey Ivancheglo is Satoshi. So if you don't know about Cubic, I've been talking about it for a long time now. Go to cubic.org, do some research, and definitely get yourself a bag before it's too late. And I can tell you it's nowhere near too late because when I first started buying into it, we are down. I bought it at my first bag at like 9,000 and we're at maybe, I don't know, 2,600. So we're almost a 4x away from where my first buy-in was. So I kept buying and DCAing in, and when it was at the bottom, that's when I made my biggest purchase. But we're talking that was like 500, 600 bucks. Not like I'm throwing 10,000 at it. Like I wish I could, but hey, someday. Gotta start somewhere. Man, this is crazy how slow this is when I stream. Let me try to close some of these tabs. I just don't think that's what it is. Let me check my leverage trades. I popped my cherry. I've been a virgin from leverage trading. Never done it in my life. And 2 days ago, I did it. I put 3 longs out, and I'm crushing. Up $174. So I gambled with 200. So I'm almost up a full double up. Let's go. Loving the leverage trade, and shout out Gugad, my mentor. But yeah, Cubic, man, definitely check it. Yeah, 23.19. I started buying it at the top, but that's all right. See, look at this. I was buying it up here at like 9,000, and then it dropped to down here 1,400-ish, 1,300. That's where $500 got me 6 or 7x what I got my first buy. So I'm happy. I want to try to get to a couple billion. That's my goal. I like to set them high and have at least a couple $1,000s into the coins that I really, really am bullish on. But guys, it's taken me 4 years to build my bag. So even if you have $20 to buy with Cubic, do it. Buy $30. It doesn't matter. I'll show you my my Gemini accounts where all bear market in 2022, 2023, I was buying render. I was buying 24 bucks at a time, 26 bucks at a time. If you do limit orders, the fee is like 14 cents. So I accumulated, almost 300 render, and I was buying them at 40, 50 cents. So how much money in cubic now to be a millionaire and however long? I want 1 billion coins, bro. So that's 1 billion coins right now is, I think, $2,300. So my goal is 2 billion, which is almost 5K. But yeah, bro, I think this thing, the way this thing is so much different, the way it works with the supply and the way that how deflationary it is. And there's a bunch of apps coming out. There's a lottery system on there. There's a betting system on there. It's really cool. So they have a lot of stuff being built on there. They're hiring the smartest people. Like, just look into Cubic, do some research, go on the website, check it out, and I promise you, like, it's the AI project I'm the most bullish on. And I just bought AION 5100, a little bag of, and I bought, well, it was about a month now, that CO AI on base, which did like a 6x, took profits, and now got my moon bag. But yeah, go to cubic.org, check it out. AI Garth by 2027. This is the gem right here, where it's learning and it can act like a human. Like, it actually thinks, and oh man, it's sick. So you can get the wallet in the App Store. If you have an Apple or a Mac, just go to the App Store, type in Cubic Wallet. They got a grants program here, incubation. I mean, guys, this thing is the one. Join the Discord. You can talk to Sergey himself. Oh, mining. Oh, yeah, that's right. Mining, too. I want to become a miner. Oh, you need some GPU. Or maybe my MacBook Air will have some extra space. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, let's see the ambassadors. I know they brought some cool people on the team. Where was it? They had like these doctors and shit on here. Grants, GitHub. Oh, well. Team. Maybe here. Or was it the scientific paper that they wrote? Holy shit, look at all the people. Satoshi marketing. No way. They got Satoshi as the marketer. But they don't have... Oh, there he is. Come from Beyond, founder, developer. So yeah, they got a bunch. Where's that scientific paper? This thing. I was trying to read this. I was like, Jesus, Luis. I can't even comprehend some of it, most of it. But I felt just reading it made me feel like, oh my God, I'm so bullish on Cuba. I don't even know what I'm reading. This shit just sounds so advanced. It's so awesome. They're the 4th biggest supercomputer in the world right now. Their network, it's growing and growing. And yeah, I'm going to put this whole thing into ChatGPT and get a TLDR. That's my homework. But I'm just joking. I'm kidding. Look at PZen, PDXN, and Zen forward charts. Whale's been selling the P9 Choba for them, pumping them crazy. Forked Zen went up 75x in one day. That a boy, bro. That a boy. Yeah, you weren't here earlier, bro, but I've been getting my Zen FTs that I made 2 years ago, and I stopped claiming them for a while because they were worth like 14,000 pulse, and it was like 17,000 to claim them. So I left a good chunk of them here where I didn't claim them. And because it just wasn't worth it. But now these ones coming up, bro, that are 4.8, the ones that here, these were at like 75 or 80,000. I wonder what it is actually now with that pump. I didn't even see that. P's in. So let's see. 80,000 pulse. What's that get you? Should be. Oh, wow, dude. Holy shit, bro. So they're like almost 200,000 pulse. They're worth almost $10 a piece now. No, not too. I'm getting a little excited. 150,000 ish. 100. Yeah, bro. What I have 4.8 on there. Wow. So they're 4.8. So they're like 165. Wow, dude. So they're up like 125,000, 130,000 pulse a piece now. That's awesome. And I still got a bunch of them to claim moving forward. Oh, this is great. I still have like 20 of them. 2, 4, 6 on a page, 7 on a page. So that's 13, 20. Yeah, I got 20 left. So 20 left. That's a couple million pulse right there. That's awesome, bro. Heck yeah. I'm stoked about that. You convinced me to buy some. My average price is 0.18 or something. Looks great. You do a great job of giving information about it. You're welcome, Panda. Bro, that's why I'm here, Panda. Like, I'm blessed to where I don't have to get up in the morning and go work a job. I get up in the morning. In bed, I turn Ivan's stream on, start listening to it at 1.75x. And then when that's over, I'll go watch Sheldon the Sniper because he's a trader, just see what he's feeling for the market for a second. And on Mondays, Scott Melker has the macro at 9 o'clock where he's got his guests on there. And then I'll see what Max puts out, his videos about Ripple or Quant or whatever. And then I'll watch and some of the XRP content out there. Very few guys, though. Jay Claver every Monday and Wednesday night. So I'm obsessed with this stuff. And I just know that when I find something like on Stronghold and I go down the rabbit hole and I find it's an article or a clip and I send it to 12 people and every single person has the same reaction. It says, oh my God, bro, this is crazy. Show me some more. Or I didn't know that. I got to look into this. When I do that with these projects and I send them to 10, 20 people and not one time has one person ever watched it, looked into it, and then came back and been like, bro, this shit is terrible. Why would you send me this? So when I send stuff and get the same reaction from 15 people, it's like, okay, so if all you guys had the time to sit and do the research that I do every day and you absorbed all the content I did every day, you would own the same coins. You would be just as bullish on Stellar, on Cubic, on Ripple. You know, Ito Farina, this guy is really good. He just does a lot of research with XRP. I just like some stuff. Yeah, he's going to be wrong at, but when he's posting a lot of facts, that's the stuff I like. And when you're posting articles and actual factual information, you know, you tie this together. Like Christine Lagarde, the director of the central banks and former director of the IMF, which Ripple, again, if you just tried to fork the XRP ledger and say, oh, I could get a bank to use it. Do you have that relationship with the IMF and the BIS that's about to redesignate XRP to a tier 1 asset? Do you know what that means now? It's as good as cash in the banking system. So you have, 1,000 XRP sitting in your wallet. You can now take it to your bank and you can go get a loan on it. You do whatever you want with it. Like, it's now currency. And that's what that relationship with the BIS allows Ripple to do. The IMF, they have that relationship. So that's what it's all about. And it wouldn't surprise. XRP is the only fully regulated digital asset in the U.S., making the most obvious choice for the strategic reserve. Like, yeah, that's his opinion, whatever. But there's so much out here about what's going on, with Ripple. El Salvador's Congress has approved a bill to change its Bitcoin law to comply with a deal it struck with the IMF. Look who's listed right in the middle of the IMF high-level advisory. Chris Larson, co-founder of Ripple. So there you go. The co-founder of Ripple is on the IMF high-level advisory group of finance and tech. It's all who you know. They pick and choose winners, right? And that's where I follow the big money. I bet with the big money. They don't lose. So I follow them. That's why every single stream I talk about the same stuff over and over and over. Because every day I'll find a new piece of information, a different nugget comes out. And it just makes me more bullish or more convinced this is going to be used at scale for this reason or whatever it is. So, you know, VVV was just a little game. I should take this shit coin off here. It's just going to drop to $2. I'm going to lose my $30. So get off of there. But yeah, guy, like Saucer Swap, Hedera is going to be massive in the future. All right. The institutions that use it, they're going to be using Saucer Swap, the #1 DEX over there. So look into that and stake it. It's liquid staking. It's like 6% a year and hold it. Flare, every month you get your airdrop. You get 3% of your bag the last 2 months airdropped. And it was like almost 5% for the last year. And it slowly gets less and less and less each month. But I'm still going to get thousands of them over the next 12 drops. So if you don't have Flare, you buy a $100 bag right now and you delegate it and stake it, you'll get like 25 to 30% of your bag back over the next year in airdrops and staking rewards. How do you beat that? That's what crypto's for, to be your own bank, yield, passive income. And that's what I've realized. And that's my strategy on Pulse Chain, buying the winners, holding them early. And then Pulse Chain is for DeFi. Cubic is not for DeFi, for earning yield on. If you can, great. That's a bonus. But that's what we have Pulse Chain for. Titan X. That's what these ecosystems are for, with the Titan Farms and no ICOs. Everything's decentralized. Like, it's a different kind of crypto. I love Pulse Chain. Everything on there. It's going to do phenomenal. But I don't think it's going to pump until money flows into the market. It's the laggard. And that's okay. We can roll our profits from these gems into them. Or vice versa. If Pulse Chain does pump, it doesn't matter. Bro, it's so funny. I owned Origin Trail, Trust Swap. I bought BuyDAO. I bought Duck. What was it? DuckDAO. I bought so many of these coins, bro, all last cycle. And Origin Trail's one of them. And the other one that's pumping now is Aleph.im. And that's like when it's like, I say this all the time. If you find a coin and it's down at the bottom, first cycle, whatever, second cycle, if it has a use case, it's been around for 4 years, they've been building, there's nothing wrong. And with holding some of that bag, I recommend never selling out of the entire bag. Because right now with like Polygon last cycle, I got into it at less than a penny. You know, I bought 18,000 of them for a half a ETH, which was $250. If I had just kept 5,000 and said, I'm just putting those away, right now, that's $2,500. Like, that gets me almost a full ETH after I sold the other 13,000. So if it's a good coin, there's nothing wrong. Like, you want to hold these things long term. Like, it's going to be different. A year from now, most, we're going to be able to earn on these things on chain. It's going to be so much different, guys. I can't stress that enough. So just getting into the winners and holding them for the opportunities that are going to fall right into our laps for being early. We're going to be rewarded. All right. I've done the research. I know what coins are going to be used for what. That's why I own them. And I keep just pounding it in. So you guys get into coins. You don't have to worry and rotate. Oh God, I'm in these bags. I don't know if they're the right ones. This other stuff's pumping. Should I get out and chase? That's when it's over. Versus saying, I know I own the right coins. The pump is going to come to me. It's only a matter of time. That's the attitude and the mentality you got to have. And you'll win like that. You won't be chasing nothing. And then try to gravitate towards the passive income coins that pay you back returns, or they have some kind of good staking or airdrop, something to it that separates them from just something sitting liquid in your wallet. RABIES, paying me back Miggles every single day. And I see Miggles spreading around more and more on Twitter. And if it gets listed on Coinbase, that coin's going to $1. That's like a 12x from here. Or no, what's it at? Like 9 cents? Yeah, about a 12x from here. Our LP pair with RABIES and Miggles is huge. What's that going to do to RABIES if Miggles does a 12x? So that's how you got to think in crypto. Utility, passive income, get in early, and hodl. Have time. Use time to your advantage. So smash that like button. Anybody who needs help, reach out to me. Book an appointment at vibrafinance.com. Message me on Twitter. I'm always around. I'm here to help. I truly mean it. You're never going to be, I get all the time, man. I wanted to ask you this, but I feel like I'm bothering you. No, don't ever feel like that. I'm so lucky I don't have to get up and go to a job. It's like my moral duty to be here to help answer you guys' questions. If you're going to come here every night and try to like learn and get into the best cryptos, and you're going to take my advice, buy these coins, if I'm not showing my wallet, showing I own them, showing what I'm doing with them, helping people out, it's like, what good is that? So that's what I'm all about. I'm truly here to help. You're not going to bother me. I want you to reach out to me. Like, it would actually piss me off if, Papa Panda had his bag of Origin Trail or whatever, and then he was going to swap it for something else, but he was going to hit me up, and he didn't. He just made the move, and it was the wrong move. That 2 seconds that it takes me to read it and respond could make the difference in thousands and thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars in the future. You never know. So I'm always around. I'm here to help. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you're not. Don't subscribe. It's all good either way.